Now with the sound on, here's her story and where she comes from.
This classroom at Ferris High School is not like any other. Inside, a growing number of students are learning American Sign Language.
The first day of my freshman year, and I walked into that class, I knew nothing about ASL, nothing about deaf culture, like completely, I had all the questions, I had no idea.
Now, 2 years later, junior Grace Oakley is the president of the Ferris ASL Club.
Now, as I've kind of, over the 2-year span, I have really immersed myself into deaf culture and the deaf community.
And leading the way is ASL teacher Bethany Holtz. And Mrs. Holtz hopes to grow that minority through her immersive ASL classes. Bethany was born able to hear, but lost it over time.
When you were growing up, when your parents learned or your family learned that you had hearing loss, did they all learn sign language at the same time as you? How does that make you feel?
And even though Bethany is now deaf, she can read lips and still speak.
So I think I just naturally picked up lip reading because I wanted to communicate. I had never seen anyone sign. I didn't know that sign language was an option. For me, what I knew was that communication was spoken and lip read.
But inside the classroom, the only communication is sign.
You walk into this class, it is the quietest and most interactive classroom. I mean, it's amazing.
Principal John Odell says it's a positive place for hearing and deaf students.
For our deaf students who, for their whole schooling, have had to try to access a hearing environment, they're now in a place where they're in an ASL environment with their peers. It's kind of a beautiful thing.
And it's a beautiful thing for Grace, whose story mirrors her teacher's.
I didn't know I lip read until COVID hit and everyone had masks on, and I had no idea what was happening.
Grace is losing her hearing too.
We're not really sure if in the future that's what's going to happen, if I'm going to be able to hear nothing, be completely deaf, or if I'm still going to be hard of hearing and have a little bit of my hearing left. We don't know now.
But unlike Mrs. Holtz, Grace has a role model.
And Holtz is amazing. She's really introduced me into culture and experiences that I didn't know about.
Someone to make her proud and makes her want to teach others.
The kids in my family, they're walking around and they're seeing me sign and they're like, oh, I want to do that. That looks so cool. And I'll be listening to a song and my sister will be like, oh, sign it, sign it, sign it. And so then I'll sit there and I'll sign the song as the song is playing. And so it's really cool to see the kids and the younger kids in my family be so excited about something that I and myself am super excited about.
And it's a pride that Bethany has found too, and spreads to everyone in her classroom. In Spokane, I'm Kalai Chalk, Nonstop Local.